After half a decade, Aphromoo is leaving CLG, been the face of the organization. He went into free agency. You and I both kind of thought he'd just probably head back to CLG, especially with Rainover coming over. The roster looked pretty solid, but it turns out he's not coming back. Daddy's not coming home.
Aphromoo is not coming home, which is very sad for everyone who loved that Stixxay Aphromoo bot lane duo. And it's not even, we're not even sure where Aphromoo is going at this point. There's not a ton of vacancies available left in the NALCS. Obviously, 100 Thieves still needs their bot lane. And maybe Aphromoo goes to another team to replace somebody like to Optic Gaming to replace Lemon Nation. But it's definitely sad to see Aphromoo go after all these years on Counter Logic Gaming, won a couple splits with CLG, and was kind of the leader and just the face of the franchise, so to speak, for Counter Logic Gaming after Doublelift departed. So it's definitely going to be hard for CLG to replace him, but they seem to have found a decent guy so far.
Yeah, it's just renewing this TSM-CLG rivalry. Biofrost going to be heading over to CLG to play along Stixxay, which is super interesting because it's the two prodigies of this former Rush Hour bottom lane, Stixxay being guided by Aphromoo, Biofrost being guided by Doublelift, and now the students have united as one to overthrow these veteran players. So that's a super interesting bottom lane. And I mean, overall, that's pretty much the best person they could get to fill the void left by Aphromoo. I mean, skill-wise, I'd say they're pretty similar. Biofrost has been better for the last, at least split, maybe even the last entire year. So it's maybe just shot calling that they might lose something by Aphromoo, but I mean, hopefully for them, Rainover can kind of come in and take the main shot calling responsibilities for them. Yeah,
Rainover is definitely going to have more of a say in team communications than Omar God did. So
I would say so, yeah.
Biofrost probably doesn't have to do as much in that respect. And as you said, he's played better overall than Aphromoo has in the past year. I mean, Aphro had a rough split, even a rough year last year. He's sometimes getting caught up being too aggressive, not being on the same page with his team. So Biofrost comes in as someone who's won the last 3 splits. Every split he's been in, Biofrost has won. So, I mean, CLG is guaranteed to win Spring Split. But in all seriousness, I mean, this team looks pretty good on paper. I would say that this CLG roster is better than the one we saw last year. Obviously, Rainover is an upgrade to Omar God, and I don't think you're losing much, if anything, with the swap to Biofrost over Aphromoo. You might even be gaining something just because Aphromoo seems to be on the decline, but who knows? If he goes to a new roster, I can see Aphromoo getting back to his form that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, and you got to think maybe, again, don't know fully how much the decision was in Aphromoo's hands, how much was due to the team, but maybe they just felt like, I mean, go for the younger talent, especially if Aphro did kind of struggle the last split. So yeah, go with Biofrost, who's been on the rise, and as you mentioned, the guy doesn't lose. He doesn't lose within NA. So that's CLG's looking for, and we'll see if who he continues to play like he did last split when he was a dominant force in the mid lane, which is something I didn't think I'd ever say. I mean, yeah, this CLG roster could definitely rival for that top spot in the NALCS.
I think so, and if you look at the roster and the ones around it right now, there might be a top 4 team, which is something CLG needs to get back to after kind of a rough finish this summer.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal, and even in Spring Split they had that they lost to FlyQuest, which you know what that FlyQuest roster eventually turned into being. In terms of Aphromoo, yeah, it's 100 Thieves. That's the only vacant bottom lane unless he's booting someone off of a team, and I can't imagine any of these teams that quickly after they sign someone will be like, you know what, never mind, you're off the team. Probably not a great precedent to set, especially for one of these 4 new teams, to just boot someone off the team after they've been there for like a week.
Yeah, but again, if you have Elimination as your starting support, you might just want to do it anyways. So we'll see, but the obvious destination is 100 Thieves because that's the only support vacancy.
Yeah, but we'll see what the future holds for Aphromoo. There's always the option of streaming, which I think some of these guys might consider with all this franchising stuff. But we will see. For right now, CLG is looking like a pretty dominant force.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more esports content.